My husband's a middle school teacher, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about in a few minutes. But he always says, I'm teaching middle school, doesn't that make him a saint? I think that qualifies him straight to the top, right? But he loves it. He actually really loves it. And one of his students is an agent here in our Ogden office. Everybody say yay to RJ. She survived Brad Geddes. But he always asks his students if they took away a nugget of goodness. And so I hope that each of you have taken away or will take away a nugget of goodness today from what all of these amazing managers have shared. And I know that each of their stories affects people differently. So I hope that each of you take your very own nugget of goodness home with you. So we were told to do like a little TED Talk, 12 to 15 minutes. I can talk for 15 minutes about dirt or anything, like I can talk. But I decided to keep us all on track, I should probably write it down. So I am gonna refer to my cards just so I don't do squirrels, because I squirrel all the time. But it makes for a really engaging conversation. So there you go. Okay, so my message to you today, let's see if I can learn the clicker. Nope, other way. We're gonna do it like this. All right, my message for you today is that our light doesn't diminish when shared, it actually multiplies. So I'm gonna take you back to a time in our lives that was a little hard, and I know we've shared a lot of stories, but I want you to know this is gonna end on a really good note, okay? So let's keep it positive. So picture this. It was 2009, it was the middle of the Great Recession. I was racing down the stairs with a toddler in one arm and a toddler in the other, along with an offer. This offer could make my clients' dreams come true. The bank had said, first agent that faxes your accepted offer back gets the deal, right? Anybody remember those days when we had to fax back the offers? And guess what? I like to win, so I was determined. I was gonna get my client this house. But in my haste, down the stairs in the garage, I missed one stair. I heard the sound before I felt it, but I definitely felt it. In an instant, 3 broken bones in my leg. On the bright side, because I like to look at the bright side always, I saved my toddler from hitting the ground. Yay, no injuries to him, and my client got the house. Yay! For a long time, I joked that my tagline on my business card should be, I'll break my leg to get your house for you. Okay, so I gotta get this whole thing down. So there you go. Break my leg, getting a house for you. All right, that missed stair, multiple surgeries, and 6 weeks of immobility were just one chapter in a much bigger story. A story of struggle, resilience, and an unexpected story, or discovery, the power of serving others and sharing my light. But let's talk about how it actually began. Let's go back a few more years, all the way back to 2005. There are probably a few of you who weren't even alive then. In 2005, my husband Brad left his job to pursue his dream of becoming a teacher. Now, we didn't do it to become wealthy, because we all know teachers aren't wealthy. That's why I'm here today, because I didn't want to be poor. But it is his calling, I will say, to be a teacher. We'd been married for 10 years. We had 2 boys, ages 3 and 5, a beautiful house and a dog. It was the American dream, right? I was running a busy property management company, which had become our primary source of income while Brad was in school. After 1 semester in college, we received a little bit of a surprise. We were pregnant with twins. Look at those 2 cute little heads. So fun. Almost immediately, I became very ill. I remember with shocking clarity the first time I vomited, because it literally did not stop for 7 months. I was soon diagnosed with a condition known as hyperemesis gravidarum, and what followed was 7 months of nausea, IV meds, home health care, and total bed rest. I worked from home the entire time while Brad was busy at school full-time, raising our 2 little boys. He managed our home and helped with our property management business as my handyman. He did everything for our family, including planning and executing a 4-year-old birthday party, which did not go in any way, shape, or form how I would have done it. And I was too sick to care. I sat in a chair and I watched everything. At 32 weeks, I delivered tiny identical twin boys via emergency C-section. It's so good, you guys. I'm crying because it's so good. If you knew these boys now, you would not believe that this is where they started. After a month in the NICU, they came home tiny, fragile, and needing constant care. There they are with their brothers 6 days after they were born. They're all really cool guys. So fast forward 18 months. Brad graduated from BYU. Go Cougars! Where are my Cougar fans? And he began his dream job of teaching secondary school. Life should have been looking up. There's my little family who loves that cute little haircut I got going on there. I'll tell you who doesn't, my daughter-in-law. She lets me know that every time we look at these pictures. Life should have been looking up, but then came 2008 and the market crashed. The Great Recession began. The interest rate on our home skyrocketed. Brad found himself in a toxic work environment that fueled depression, and eventually he left his teaching job, not thinking he would ever go back. Once again, we were completely dependent on my income, which also dwindled thanks to the housing market, as he worked for and supported my property management and real estate business. Now, remember that fall. 3 fractured bones, multiple surgeries, so much bed rest. We had to paint our whole room. I was so tired of it. I was in that room way too much. Mounting medical bills. We were on the verge of foreclosure and using government and church assistance just to survive. I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I was more discouraged and overburdened than I'd ever felt in my entire life. I have always been a doer, a fixer, a glass half full kind of a gal. And for the first time in my life, I felt paralyzed. I was paralyzed with discouragement, responsibility, and hopelessness, which was a very unfamiliar feeling for me. I remember sitting on a couch playing solitaire on a laptop that weighed like 30 pounds. So that's how long ago this was. Trying to hide from my feelings while my toddlers giggled nearby. Tears flowed. I had never cried so much in my entire life. And I wondered, how will anything ever change? How can this ever get better? So let's talk about the turning point. One day during one of our very darkest hours, Brad and I had a difficult conversation, and it did change everything. We realized that for far too long, we had focused on the external forces that were weighing us down. We often joked, like the books, that our life had become a series of unfortunate events. We weren't really joking, though. We worried about what was being done to us, and on the daily, we felt sad and discouraged for ourselves when we would look at the situations that we found ourselves in. We asked, why? Why are all these terrible things happening to us when we felt like we were doing everything that God could possibly ask of us? And we asked why too many times every single day. Slowly, our world had darkened. Our lights felt very dim, and we had little to offer each other or anybody else, and sadness truly overwhelmed us. But that night, that conversation turned to what was and wasn't in our control. Together, we realized we could not control interest rates. Amen to that, right? We could not control the economy, and we could not control other people's choices and how they treated us. But we could control our response to all of those things happening around us and to us. I got to get a drink, you guys. Women of a certain age, we get this dry mouth, right? I know I look like I'm 20, but I'm not. Okay, so we could control our responses. That day we made a decision. Rather than focusing on ourselves and our trials, every day we would choose to serve someone outside of our home. Just one thing every day. But what could we do with 4 little boys and literally no budget? We were poor. We thought we could take some treats to a neighbor. We could rake some leaves. We could send a positive message to somebody. And that was in the days where you had to do it on the number pad, so it was like 3, every letter was like 3 hits of a key. Stop by for a visit. Really anything that we could think of that might possibly brighten someone else's day. Stop focusing on our challenges because, and those of you who are in JTM remember this, that which we focus on expands, right? So we needed to change our focus. So the transformation, that one simple decision and the subsequent actions changed the course of our lives. It did not change our problems. It did not take them away, but it changed us. Serving others gave us hope. It gave us joy, and it reminded us that even in the darkness, we still had light, and we could create more light. And here's the beautiful truth, because that which we focus on expands, our light doesn't diminish when we share it. It actually multiplies. Whoops. Oh, am I going backwards? I'm going backwards. All right. Science actually backs this up. Brain imaging studies show that helping others activates the same reward centers as pleasurable experiences, releasing dopamine and endorphins. the chemicals which are behind joy and stress relief. Researchers call this the helper's high. Acts of kindness don't just feel good. They reduce cortisol, quiet the brain's fear center, and even improve your physical health by lowering blood pressure and boosting resilience. Serving others literally makes us happier and healthier. When we help others shine, our own light shines brighter. There I go again, the wrong way. All right, there we go. So, you might be wondering, what does any of this have to do with real estate? Everything. It has everything to do with real estate, because real estate, as some of my previous friends have mentioned, it isn't just about houses. It's about the people in those houses, and you all know that. You all do that every single day. When you serve people first, joy and prosperity follow organically. So I'm going to share a few thoughts from a couple of my favorite books that are going to give you actionable steps that you can take to serve people in your life, in your community, and in your business. And I would buy every single one of these books if you haven't already gotten them. So let's start with the happiness advantage. Number 1, start every day with gratitude and outreach. Research from this book, The Happiness Advantage, shows that gratitude actually rewires your brain for optimism. So what can you do? Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Send 1 positive message to a past client, colleague, or friend, and do a random act of kindness daily. I would suggest to each of you that you put a reminder on your phone. I have a calendar invite on my phone for every single day of the year that goes off at 7 p.m. that says, did you do a random act of kindness today? Because at 7 o'clock, I still have 3 hours that I can check it off my list, right? I would challenge each of you to do that. These activities will strengthen your relationship and prime your mind for opportunity. Number 2, adapt the go-giver mindset. In the book, The Go-Giver, the authors say, your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. And your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. The most valuable gift each of you can give is yourself. So what can you do? Share a market tip. Connect a client with a trusted vendor, or spotlight a local business. Better yet, spotlight your friend's small business. Be intentional in your genuine connections. Listen, as Emily shared with us, and give of yourself in any small way without expectation of any immediate or any return at all. Serve without expectation. Number 3, create peak moments for clients. In the book, The Power of Moments, we read that people remember standout moments that happen even in seemingly insignificant experiences. So, what can you do? Surprise clients and friends with a handwritten note, a personalized closing gift, or a video message celebrating their home anniversary or personal and family milestones. Shout out your friends and their accomplishments on social media. Organize small gatherings to really develop intimate and strengthen bonds. These moments make memories and relationships, which lead to stronger loyalty and, guess what? Referrals. When you help others shine, whether it's a client, a colleague, or a neighbor, your own light shines brighter. And in real estate, that light attracts opportunity, prosperity, and joy. And my husband said, and money. Because money makes us all happy, right? You might still wonder, did serving others actually change my life? Here is my not so little anymore family's takeaway. And I will tell you, we just added one more little baby, Georgia James, who joined our family 2 weeks ago. Our first girl. I'm so happy. I've been shopping for months. Every day, we saw small changes, not to our situation, but to ourselves and to our attitude about our situation. The energy and light you give is the energy and light that comes back to you. Our changes in daily thoughts led to changes in behavior, which led to new opportunities, which led to an entirely new, big, and beautiful life that in that darkest day, I could never have anticipated our family would be living. Our lights had been dimmed, but as we tried to save others, they actually saved us. And here's one more thing I want to share, and this is also a true story. When your light starts to shine brighter, some people might say you're too much. They might say, she's a lot. She talks too much. She's a little loud. I heard it all, you guys. Some people might try to dim your light or ask you to change who you are. They may want you to blend in or conform. Do not do it. Never dim your light or change who you are to make other people comfortable. Instead, offer them sunglasses. Right? There you go. Because your light is meant to shine, not hide. And when you share it, it doesn't diminish. I can't read my cards with these on, so I'm gonna take them off for a minute. Because your light is meant to shine, not hide. And when you share it, it doesn't diminish. It actually multiplies. So what are you going to do in 2026 to share your light? Because I promise you, if you share your light, if you serve in your community, if you bless the lives of others every day, that energy will come back to you and it will bless your life in ways that you cannot even imagine. So allow me to repeat this one more time. Let your light shine and let them wear shades, because your light does not diminish when it's shared. It actually multiplies. Thank you.